commercial you won't be seeing during this is an ad by gun manufacturer Daniel Defense. The NFL banned it, claiming it violates its policy. But don't tell that to Marty Daniel, the CEO of Daniel Defense, and the thousands and thousands of people who sent him emails, outraged that an ad about a Marine Corps veteran who comes home and is determined to defend and protect his family, as he did this country, is somehow not fit for TV. We went to Georgia, toured the Daniel Defense manufacturing facilities in that state and in South Carolina, and talked to a 72-year-old woman who told me she's not much on sending emails, but this time was different. She's furious about the ad being rejected and wanted Daniel Defense to know that the AR-15 she owns, made by them, is the only gun she'd own for self-protection.
I'm very proud that I have the AR-15, and I just wanted Daniel Defense to know that I supported their right to have this ad run, so I fired off an email. As a widowed 72-year-old, the refusal of the NFL to run your ad is another attempt to chip away at our liberty.
It's been a long road getting here, and a lot has changed since I got back.
It's censorship, it's political correctness run amok.
Something as simple as serving your country gives you a big pride. Coming home and he's trying to defend his family, and they still don't run it.
Now this is the center of my world, and my family's safety is my highest priority.
Was there some kind of policy they said you violated?
No, the NFL, they have a set of rules that the Fox affiliate gave to us because the Fox people are in charge of the marketing. And we worked inside of the set of rules. Cannot show a gun, cannot show guns being used.
And you even said, hey, we'll take our logo out of there.
Yeah, come on, man, let's work together. But we still got turned down.
I contacted Fox in Atlanta in December, and Lynn Overstreet, the vice president and regional sales manager, refused my request for an interview. But I did obtain these emails from Daniel Defense that were sent to Fox back in November. Jordan Hunter, marketing director at Daniel Defense, asks, was the decision made by the NFL or Fox? Who is the one making the call? And Lynn Overstreet responds, it's the NFL's call and not our station group. And she makes clear that, quote, firearms, ammunition, or other weapons, unquote, is a prohibited category by the NFL.
I am responsible for their protection, and no one has the right to tell me how to defend them.
I'm baffled by that. I mean, the NFL's American.
You should worry less about selling beer and more about selling the American dream and the American lifestyle.
To me personally, it's a slap in the face. To us, the fans, the company itself, the employees.
What the NFL did was a violation of not only the First Amendment, but also of the Second Amendment. They just fumbled the ball, but it backfired on them.
And this censorship is just a symptom of the attempt to silence gun owners and to deter gun buying. But the opposite of that is actually happening.
What is it like to be making the most loved and the most hated gun in America, the AR?
I love what we do. I believe in our Second Amendment rights. I believe we do have the right to decide the best way to protect our family, and I love manufacturing freedom every day. It's just an amazing story that this lady told how she was empowered by owning our product.
A year or so before I got my AR-15, there was a home invasion not too far away from us at 2:15 in the morning. After that, there was this situation in Georgia, the young mother who protected her children, and she had her pistol and used up every bullet she had. And if there'd been more than one person there, it would have been a different story. I don't want to run out of bullets if there's a problem here and I've got 4 people standing at the front door.
But you look at the anti-gunners and they would say to you, what the heck do you need a firearm that big for? You know, they call it the dangerous firearm.
The AR-15 is not a scary gun, and it is not an assault weapon. It's a rifle. And I do have a pistol. I prefer the AR-15. It's accurate, it's not heavy. I'm confident that if I've got a 30-round magazine, that I would be able to take care of business. And if there's bad guys there, they'd be laying on their floor with their hands across their head while I'm looking at them with my AR-15 saying, don't move because the cops are on their way. There's a lot of bad stuff that can happen in 10 minutes.
I've chosen the most effective tool for the job.
Daniel Defense. Defending your nation, defending your home.
Our goal is not to make NFL look bad or to make Fox look bad. Our goal is to start a conversation that says, how can we talk about our Second Amendment rights?
All we're asking for is a level playing field here. We've got to be very, very careful in this country that we don't let the media set the tone for our ideals here, for our beliefs. That is a real danger that we deal with every day.
But that's what they want. They want it one-sided. They don't want to see the other side because it's too reasonable.
Freedom is precious to me. The freedom to worship the God that I choose, the freedom of speech. There is this agenda behind that whereby conservative ideologies are now being, I believe, discriminated against. There's selective censorship.
I'd like to know the man that made that decision and stand here right now and talk to him. It seems like we have no rights because somebody else is all powerful. And this is a good example with the NFL.
The big hypocrisy is that on all of the mainstream medias, they allow guns to be used in their TV shows, in their movies, in their video games, and they're used for illegal and evil purposes, but they're not allowing us to advertise our product for good purposes and legal purposes, for competition shooting, for target shooting, for hunting, for self-defense.
As they point out, the NFL and Fox want to silence supporters of the Second Amendment like Daniel Defense, but they have no problem allowing Mayor Bloomberg and his anti-gun coalition to run their ad during last year's Super Bowl.
Common sense reforms that would save lives. Go to mayorsagainstillegalguns.org.
So now you're going to tell a company, an American company, hey, we're not going to play your ad because it has to do with a rifle. It's a double standard.
I think there's an agenda there to marginalize people who support the Constitution now.
Do you think the NFL has any clue what Daniel Defense is all about?
I don't think they have a clue. If they were to come down here, if they were to tour this plant, talk with these people, then I think they'd have a whole different attitude about it.
How many NRA members, how many gun-toting legal folks here that have weapons watch football?
Yeah, it might be a mistake on their part to think that it doesn't matter because it is a big demographic. It's not 5% of the population. It's 52 million men and about 2 million women are gun owners in this country.
I bet if you were to poll the NFL players and the fans, the vast majority of them own guns and feel like they have a right to have those guns.
You cannot have the First Amendment without the Second Amendment. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm very proud to work here.
I don't advocate boycotting. I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl. What I hope is that as you're sitting down watching the Super Bowl with your family or your friends, when you see a commercial, I want you to say, come on, man, why can't we play the Daniel Defense commercial? That's just not right.
I've been in the military. I flew all over the world. Trust me, there's nothing any better than this country. But what's going on with this deal? We're going to lose our right to speak if we don't watch out.
This is the kind of thing that we should be outraged about for many years to come. And whereas I'm concerned, I'm also encouraged because I see a groundswell of people who have just had enough and who are beginning to understand that it's going to take getting involved.
It's been such a slippery slope. My father died about 30 years ago, and if he came back today, he would not recognize this country. And that is scary when it's less than a generation.
I was surprised at how many people, hundreds of people, in the bottom of their email that would make a comment like, I'm not really sure I recognize my country anymore. It's not just the gun issue, it's censorship of all kinds.
If our forefathers were here and witnessed this now, I can only imagine they're just rolling over in their graves right now.
I'm throwing the challenge flag. They should overturn the ruling. Look at the evidence that this was a bad call.